Hey guys, welcome back. Uh, wanted to discuss a little something. Remember at the beginning of the playoffs, everybody had said, "Oh, it doesn't matter what team from the North comes out of the North because they're just gonna get destroyed because they played nobody. They, the North was the weakest division, and everybody had said, they're once they play a real team, whoever comes out of the North is going to get destroyed." And everybody, that was the consensus. A lot of people were saying, yeah, no, whoever comes out of the North is not going to stand a chance. Well, it's amazing what can happen because I look back at the standings and the Montreal Canadiens, who just punched their ticket to the Stanley Cup final for the first time in 28 years. 1993 was the last time the Habs were in the Stanley Cup final. And of course, this is the fifth time now. I think this is the fifth time. This will be the fifth time that a Canadian team has been in the Stanley Cup final since 1993. Oddly enough, the four previous times, 1994, the Vancouver Canucks lost in 7 games to the New York Rangers. Then again, you didn't see another Canadian team make the finals until 2004 when the Calgary Flames lost in 7 games to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now, of course, I know there's still... I'm sorry, Calgary should have won that game in 6. That puck, to me, was over the line, even though there wasn't enough to really see either way. I still think the puck was in. So, Tampa ended up winning that series in 7. And then you had the lockout season in 2005, so there was no season played. But then 2006 comes out and the Edmonton Oilers are in the finals and they lose in 7 games to Carolina. Then you didn't see another Canadian team back in the finals until Vancouver in 2011. Crazy thing what happened there? They lost in 7. This seems to be the pattern. Now, whether or not that's going to happen with Montreal, we will find out. But the first time since Vancouver in 2011, a Canadian team has made the Stanley Cup final. But it's how they did it that I don't think anybody is really. Everybody had said they don't deserve to be there. They finished with 59 points in 56 games. 59 points. That's not great. As a matter of fact, I believe that was the lowest point total of any of the 16 teams. I'm almost positive that was the lowest point total of any of the 16 teams. 59 points. But, they run into Toronto. Everybody's picking Toronto. They fall behind 3-1. Ever since then, they win game 5. And since game 5 of the Toronto series, the Montreal Canadiens since then have won 11 of 13. They have gone 11-2 since being down 3-1 to the Toronto Maple Leafs. I don't know where it came from. I don't think anybody really knows where it came from. But the crazy thing is, what I'm getting from these guys is I'm getting a very 2012 Los Angeles King vibe here with the run that they're on. The LA Kings, a number 8 seed back when the playoffs were still the one versus 8, 2 versus 7, 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5. The setup that so many people apparently want to go back to because, well, there's too many good teams that get knocked out in the first round. You won't see that with the 1 versus 8 format. Really? I hear that and I go and say, 2012 LA Kings, anyone? But even here, you're seeing in this divisional setup, even it's just, I know, this is just the 1 year. It's a 1 year deal with the way the divisions were set up this year. But I mean, look at what you have. You have the number 4 seed in the North in the Stanley Cup final. Look at the teams they beat to get there. They beat Toronto, who won the division. They were the number 1 seed in the North. They beat them. Then they played Winnipeg, who, granted, they were number 3. They were a number 3 seed. They swept them like it was nothing. And then they go and they run into Vegas, who was right behind Colorado for the President's Trophy this year. I believe they had the second best record in the league, behind the Colorado Avalanche. They just knocked them off. They just knocked off the Vegas Golden Knights in 6 games to get to their first Stanley Cup final since 1993. It's crazy. When people talk about, well, you need to change the playoff format. These teams don't belong here. You kind of almost saw this coming last year, because Montreal last year, they got into the play-in round and they weren't expected to do anything against Pittsburgh. They beat Pittsburgh in 4. In a best of 5 series, they beat Pittsburgh in 4 to advance to the first round of the playoffs. And they gave Philadelphia all they could handle. You almost kind of saw this coming from last year, the run they were making last year. It looked like they were getting things going. And this is very similar to last year, only they've obviously gotten further than last year, but they started turning it on. They started turning it on. They kicked it into high gear after they fell behind 3-1 to Toronto, and they took off. They have taken off, and here they are in the Stanley Cup final for the first time since 1993. It's just crazy though when you look back at the standings. This is a team they only won 24. They ended up, I believe their record was 24, 21, and 11. They only won 24 of 56 games technically. So I mean, if you combine the losses, you're talking 24 wins, and yeah, you're talking 24 wins, and 35 losses, or 30. 21 and 11 is 32. Yeah, you're 32 or 33. 32. So if you combine the regulation losses and the overtime losses, they technically went 24 and 32. If you combine the regulation losses along with the overtime or shootout losses, they technically went 24 and 32. And here they are in the Stanley Cup final. It's crazy, and for people that wanted, we want to go back to the old 1 versus 8 format because the good teams will end up winning those. No. What we've seen, especially over the last number of years, it don't matter. If a team is hot, they can get hot and they can knock off a team. I mean, it was what, two 2 years ago that the was it 2019? Yeah, it was 2019 that everybody's brackets basically got destroyed. When Tampa Bay got swept by Columbus, that basically destroyed everybody's bracket. All these good teams lost in the first round, and everybody's talking, we need to change the alignment. We need to change the way the playoff format is. It's got to go back to the 1 versus 8 format, not this divisional thing. You had the same things going on. You had great teams losing in round 1. You had number 1 seeds and number 2 seeds losing to number 8 and number 7 seeds a lot when it was the 1 versus 8 format. And it happens. It happens. And of course my heart pick was the Montreal Canadiens and the New York Islanders to play each other in the final. The 2 number 4 seeds. It is still theoretically possible because Game 7 of Tampa Bay and the Islanders is later tonight. And that's, it could happen. It could legitimately happen. And it was also very, very odd to see because they said they weren't going to do the conference trophy presentations, but it was interesting seeing Deputy Commissioner Bill Daley come walking out with the Clarence Campbell Trophy to award to the Montreal Canadiens, a team that normally they don't win the Western Conference Trophy technically because they're not in the Western Conference, they're in the East. This is the first time they've ever won that trophy. Most likely it will be the last time they win that trophy because they're not a Western Conference team. So it was very interesting to see the Montreal Canadiens all surround Bill Daley and the Clarence Campbell Trophy. It's going to be very interesting to see, 2021 Montreal Canadiens engraved into the Clarence Campbell Trophy. Just last couple of years just been weird. The way some of these have worked out. You've got a team that finished the regular season with 59 points, and they're going to play for the Stanley Cup. And I had talked about this in a previous video about this Cinderella run that the Montreal Canadiens we're on, and could it keep going? And we weren't sure, especially coming into the series against Vegas. Again, nobody really gave them a chance. Can they keep this going? Can they pull off another upset and get to the finals? That's kind of the question I had asked in that other video about the Canadiens. And it's kind of neat as a follow-up to that video. Here they are. In most likely what I think will probably, I'm guessing, because Game 7 of Tampa Bay and the New York Islanders are later tonight, I'm guessing that would mean the finals I'm going to guess they would start Monday, but they could start Sunday. It'd be either Sunday or Monday. That's, my guess it'd be Monday, but it could be Sunday because Game 7 of Tampa Bay and the New York Islanders is later tonight, and it's Friday. So they certainly could very easily start it on Sunday. So, that's one thing, we'll have to wait and see. We'll probably find that out after the result of Tampa and New York. But it's just this is a hell of a run that the Montreal Canadiens are on. And I mean, you've got two underdog stories, and I had said this in another video. How about how we don't know how that video would age. Because we were thinking, if you got the Islanders and you got the Canadiens, who's could they both go out? Could they could one move on? Could both of them move on? I think I even said we'll see probably by the end of the week how how well that video ages. Well, my heart pick, of course, was the two underdogs, Montreal and the New York Islanders, two number 4 seeds. That's still got a chance. And if the New York Islanders find a way to knock off Tampa, as much as we've talked about, and as much as I've talked about, especially here, this is the first time that these guys, the Montreal Canadiens, have been in the Stanley Cup Finals since 1993. I was a freshman in high school in 1993. A freshman, 9th grade. So, that kind of dating myself a little bit, but that tells you something. I was a freshman in high school. If the New York Islanders can pull something off, can pull something similar off later tonight, you think dating back to when I was a freshman in high school, think about it if the Islanders make it to the finals. About how young I was then. You never know. I might be making a very similar video tomorrow night about the New York Islanders like I'm making tonight. We'll see. But it's crazy. My heart pick still has a chance here. And yeah, I mean this has been an incredible run by the Montreal Canadiens. And I had figured too, if Montreal were to say win the Stanley Cup. Now I have to think when they make the Stanley Cup final patches that now that Montreal is in there, they're going to make a French one and an American one. Because, you're going to have either Tampa Bay or the New York Islanders on the other side. They'll have an American patch. I got to think Montreal would have a French one. So, what I think I would do, if they do that, if Montreal were to win this whole thing, and they made a French patch, I think, hang on, I gotta reach over here. I think what I would do, because of course, I have the home one, of course I would have both. If they make a French patch, I think what I would do, if they win the Stanley Cup, I think I would get the French patch. I would have the French patch put on this one. And I think I'd have the American one put on this one. I think that's how I would do that. But we'll have to see if they end up winning. But I think that's kind of what I would do with that is French patch on here, American one on here, and we'll see what happens if the Montreal Canadiens can keep this run going, because it's been impressive. It's been really, really impressive to watch. Carey Price right now is, this is, people have wondered for a long time, if he's really worth the money he's getting paid. He's earning it right now. And anybody in Montreal who thought, Marc Bergevin deserves to be fired. Something tells me he's going to be there for a while. And especially if they win the cup, yeah, Marc Bergevin ain't going anywhere for a long time. And that red suit, it seems to be good luck. He's 3-0 wearing it. I think the red suit looks cool. I mean, crazy as it sounds, that red suit looks really, really cool. So it's just this run has been incredible for the Montreal Canadiens, and it's gonna be interesting to see exactly who they end up facing, and I mean, I think no matter who wins later tonight, I will probably do a video on that team. And I mean, if it's Tampa, I'll do a video on them, and I'll talk about them and what they're trying to pull and what they're trying to achieve here. But if it's the New York Islanders, man, oh man, something else. I mean, you could have two number 4 seeds that could really just knock the whole idea of, yeah, we need to do division realignment here. We need to do a whole playoff realignment. Yeah, you could knock that right on its head. Because I think the division matchups are awesome. Even with the 2 wild cards, which basically is a 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7, if you look at how that's set up, because the number 2 wild card, who had the least amount of points of those final 2 teams, plays the division winner with the top record. So I mean, if you think about it, it's still 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7 in that first round, technically. Excuse me. But that's, it's just you don't have 4 teams from each division making the playoffs. In the wild card format, you can have 5, which means one of those teams is flipped over to the other division and put into their playoffs. But I mean, it's one reason why I love hockey. It's a fantastic sport, and seeing Cinderella stories like this, like the Montreal Canadiens, a team that is going, they're, I believe, the oldest franchise in the league, and they are going to be going for cup number 25. Can they hit the quarter? Can they get the quarter? We'll have to wait and see. And yeah, I'm glad for you guys who sat, would sit here and got to the and gotten to the end of this. Me talking about a nice cool Cinderella run. And if you guys are, if there's anybody there that's new to the channel, I would love it if you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you wanted to, you could hit the little bell there, get notifications for whenever a new video comes up. And yeah, for the people that have subscribed, I'm very grateful. And I love the fact that some, that you guys, you see a video of mine pop up and you're like, hey, let's go watch this guy from Minnesota talk hockey. I love that, and I appreciate it so much. But for anyone new that's just cruising around the internet and one of my videos pops up from my channel, if you guys watch it and like it, I'd love it if you hit the subscribe button, because I'd love to see this channel grow some. And yeah, and of course, I showed you guys that in an earlier video a few days ago. Because I'm like, well, I got the reverse retro, so I might as well try to find the reverse retro hat. Something that kind of matches. And yeah, I'd say it matches. I'd say it matches pretty well. I really like it. I've got it, and of course I have a red hat for my red Montreal jersey. But yeah, this has been a fun little run watching the Montreal Canadiens basically shock the world, because The North Division, oh, it's just trash. The North Division doesn't stand a chance. They're going to get slaughtered. Uh, I would beg to differ with that because look who's in the Stanley Cup final just waiting for an opponent. So that's I think that should do for me. Being it's been 25 minutes, I've been talking 25 minutes about the Montreal Canadiens. So yeah, like I said, if anyone new out there, you see one of my videos, you go and watch it, you like it, love it if you hit the subscribe button, and and of course, my subscribers that I have, keep tuning in. I appreciate all of you, and again, hopefully, maybe either way tomorrow, I'm gonna be talking about the other team that is gonna end up playing these guys. But man, how exciting would it be if it were the New York Islanders, and you had a Stanley Cup final of one time, only one year only. Would you have two Eastern? It hasn't happened in a long time. Two Eastern Conference teams playing each other in the Stanley Cup final. I mean, you're going to get that no matter what. But just imagine if it were the two number 4 seeds, if it were the New York Islanders against the Montreal Canadiens for the 2021 Stanley Cup. God, that'd be fun. So, yeah. So until probably later tonight or early tomorrow, I will I'll probably make that other video up and put that up. And again, if you guys are just anybody new just cruising around the internet, and you happen to come across one of the videos, if you watch it, you like it, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let me hear from you guys. Do you think, can it happen? Can it be the New York Islanders and the Montreal Canadiens? Can it happen? Yeah, let me know. And again, new people, hit, if you come on through, hit like and subscribe. I would gladly appreciate it. I would love to have you guys be a part of my channel. And I will talk to you guys again later.